Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, protesters demand Gainesville leaders stop working with companies involved with Israel. Why they say they won't stop until the city responds. And stormy afternoons slated to continue this week. The UF weather team is tracking the storms and when we can see some relief from the rain. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5 from the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications. You're watching WUFT News.
The UF weather team is tracking storms and showers across north central Florida. You can see the rains moving through our area right now. It's been a wet week so far, and the UF weather team says the rains will continue for the next few days. This is WUFT's First at 5.
I'm Kirsten Maselka. Let's get over to UF forecaster Matthew Clark tracking today's rain and when the storms will move out of the area.
Yeah, so we have a lot of storms right now across north central Florida, and I don't expect these storms to clear up until later in the evening, and we're going to remain relatively constant in this pattern until later into early parts of next week. Some really strong storms to the west of Gainesville. These are really slow-moving storms, and they are dumping a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And you can see a lot more to the east coast right now, really starting to build up south of Stark and to the northwest of Palatka. Campus Cam, some overhead clouds. You can see those storms off in the distance. Temperature 84 degrees. Storm over to the left of your screen, and that feels like is 95 because that dew point is really high, making us feel muggy. 77 in Ocala, 86 in Gainesville, 85 over in Brunson. Temperatures are a little bit lower right now, and that's just because of the rain coverage keeping us nice and cool. However, it is still muggy. Coming up, I'll have more on those showers, some flash flood risks, and our game day forecast.
The University of Florida's high ranking when it comes to being one of the best colleges in the country is no more. That's according to new data from the Wall Street Journal. You have dropped more than 60 spots from 15 to 83 in the Wall Street Journal. College Poll's best colleges of 2025. The new rankings are now scored on 3 main components, including student outcomes, learning environment, and diversity. 500 universities were ranked.
Voters may lose the opportunity to choose who appoints the GRU Authority Board in November. That's one of the decisions that came out of a contested meeting last night. In a unanimous vote this Wednesday, the GRU Authority Board requested removal of voters' ability to return GRU control to elected officials. Governor Ron DeSantis currently holds the power to appoint the board members who control finances, rules, and regulations of the utility company. Ahead of the vote, the board heard the community members' opinions on keeping that choice with the people.
You're not even answerable to the governor because the governor can appoint you and I guess remove you, but he can't tell you what to do. So really nobody can tell you what to do and nobody can vote you out in the local public.
If the commission does not fulfill the request, the GRU Authority Board has prepared its legal team to file a lawsuit. The Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles says this year alone, there have just been over 3,000 traffic accidents that ended in injuries or fatalities. WUFT's Valentina Sandoval joins us live in the studio to tell us what bikers are saying about these new measures.
When it comes to safety, managing the speed and density of traffic is crucial for bikers and pedestrians. That's one reason for Vision Zero, a partnership between Alachua County, Gainesville, and other local and state agencies to help combat the safety issues. At Bikes and More, many repairs come from bikers who have been in accidents or who want to prevent them with better visibility features. I went out with WFT's Jana Rothberg. Here's what we found.
The sound of the rust against the chain lets you know mechanic David Lowe is working. He's embraced the love of 2 wheels for 15 years, but still has concerns.
There's certain roads that I just avoid. I just try to stick to mostly the back roads because, even some of the roads with bike lanes are just not very safe.
Chris Bell works alongside David. He understands the risks.
You have to be as aware as you can, which sometimes isn't enough because people are, some people are just very careless drivers.
Bikes and More is the oldest bike shop in Gainesville. In 41 years, they have seen many changes to pedestrian safety. Still, they wanted to stay a top priority.
So does Chairman for Gainesville's Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Board, Patrick White.
It is important to make streets and roads safe for everyone. If you can get out of a car and walk to where you want to go or ride a bicycle and you feel safe to do so, this is huge.
Alachua County Transportation Planning Manager Allison Muss says the Sunshine State is at the top of the list for accidents.
Florida is sort of a leader, unfortunately, in bicycle pedestrian safety issues. We have a lot of pedestrian and bicycle fatalities.
Muss says hotspots in the area include FDOT corridors, Archer Road, Newberry Road, East Hawthorne, and some outlying county roads. One of the most common,
Over I-75 lacks sidewalks, so you'll see people walking, including people pushing wheelchairs or baby strollers, walking along the roadway, including in the dark.
The plan is to enhance pedestrian safety in the city and the county through the $2.3 million funded by the Vision Zero initiative. Even still, bikers like Chris want pedestrians to remain vigilant.
The most important thing, just look around, pay attention.
In an effort to keep safety first.
Through new crosswalks, traffic lights, and signs for pedestrian visibility, the city and county will continue to work towards safer streets for those on two wheels and two legs alike. Live in the studio, Valentina Sandoval, WUFT News.
Coming up on First at 5, a local school district is celebrating the thousands of pounds of school supplies donated to students. The students that will benefit from the annual event.
And a local overcrowded shelter working overtime to find new homes for pets. The incentives they're offering for potential new owners to come forward. We'll be right back. But Florida lawmakers are looking at the possibility of adding nuclear power. The Florida Public Service Commission met with nuclear experts today to discuss advanced nuclear technology. This technology would allow for larger nuclear plants as well as smaller reactors. Florida Municipal Power Agency CEO Jacob Williams agrees with this push for diversifying energy sources, as he feels nuclear energy is what is needed to power Florida's future.
It's safe, but the nation has to come behind and say, we need to diversify a bit more, and if you want to reduce emissions, that's the logical place to go to.
Thursday's meeting was the first formal step as the Public Service Commission carries out a legislative directive to submit a report by next April. Nuclear plants already account for 13% of Florida's electricity, despite the absence of new plants since the 1970s and 80s.
If you're looking to come home with a new furry friend, look no further than the Marion County Animal Services. Clear the Shelters will continue its free adoptions until next Tuesday. With a wide selection of dogs and cats of all ages, adopters will be sure to find their new best friend. The shelter will stay open until 9 p.m. each night to find all the adoptable animals their new home. For more information, visit marionfl.org/animal.
As the fall season starts up, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission wants you to be on the lookout for increased black bear activity. According to their bear-wise rules, to stay safe during this time, never feed or get near the bears. Feeding the bears would make them more likely to approach you. Secure any garbage, pet food, or bird feeders that may attract these animals. Keep your pets close to you at all times, as dog activity can trigger a bear's defensive behavior. And inform your neighbors of any bear activity you may come across. The FWC also says they faced no serious boating accidents or fatalities on the water over this past Labor Day weekend for the second year in a row. Officers were on high alert this past weekend to ensure the safety of Florida boaters. 7 boaters were arrested for driving their vessels under the influence.
Gainesville is one of the Florida cities that received part of the estimated $39 million return in unclaimed property this past month. Unclaimed property is a financial asset that is inactive or abandoned by its owners. Common examples are bank accounts, insurance proceeds, stocks, deposits, or refunds. The Florida Department of Financial Services returned close to $600,000 to Gainesville neighbors. To find out if you have unclaimed property, search on fltreasurehunt.gov.
Marion County's annual school supplies donation drive, known as Mission Bus Brigade, has officially come to a close. Every year, county departments compete to collect the most supplies for students in need. Each department designs a custom bus to collect their supplies with. The competition was hot this year, with Marion County Public Schools estimating over 18,000 pounds of supplies collected. The Municipal Services Taxes Unit collected the most supplies this year.
The tropics are heating up again. After the break, I'll talk about which of these 5 areas will bring heavy rain to the Sunshine State.
Welcome back. Activists gathered outside of City Hall to voice their concerns about Gainesville funding for Israel.
WUFT's Madison Ginsberg attended today's protest and is live at City Hall. Madison, you spoke to protesters about their plans to not let up on their efforts.
Just hours ago, community members gathered outside of City Hall to demand that Gainesville divest from Israel. Activists want city leaders to stop funding organizations that are tied to Israel. Activists stood outside holding signs, flags, and were chanting in front of City Hall. Protesters tell me that this is all part of a broader movement that demands the city divest from weapon companies that are linked to the violence in the Middle East. Protesters claim that city commissioners are making excuses about why the city can't remove their funding and partnerships. Activists are pushing for the city commission to invest in the Gainesville community rather than overseas.
We are the ones who will be paying the consequences for that. Our communities will be affected, all to support an apartheid regime going against the will of the people. So, like, our ultimate goal is building up a popular front, a popular movement in order to get people activated.
These calls started earlier this summer, and organizers say they will leaders to act and address their concerns on the city's agenda during the September 19th meeting. Protesters say they also seek to find liberation and humanity for the Palestinian people. Also in the meeting earlier today, many activists signed up for public comment where they were able to voice their opinion to city commissioners. Activists say they will continue to demand that Gainesville divests from Israel. Live at City Hall, Madison, Ginsberg, WUFT News.
Hope you are all having a terrific Thursday. We're still in that same weather pattern, and we're going to continue to be in that weather pattern as we head into parts of early next week. A low pressure has developed off the coast of Houston, and it's bringing in a lot of moisture and showers into the southeastern United States. See that low right here, bringing in a lot of rain into Louisiana, Mississippi, and it's spurring up a lot of showers and storms in our area. Now, there is a cold front that's going to start to move its way through the southeast, and it's going to start to push its way across, and it's going to move this low pressure system off the coast. And as this low pressure system starts to move its way into the Atlantic, it's going to bring us some more rain and a lot more humidity and some more showers. Now, that cold front is going to stall, and it's going to bring us a potential of flash flood risks. Marginal risk for most parts of Florida, but we do have a slight risk here in Jacksonville and St. Mary's. Marion County has seen a lot of rainfall over the past 12 hours, 4.1 inches they've seen, and for the most part we've seen upwards of over 1 inch, 3 inches up here in northeast Marion County, and that's because of all this rain that we're seeing. You can see a lot of it really strong south of Stark and to the northeast of Palatka. Do have a couple strong storms to the east, to the west of Gainesville, and these are just stationary storms, and they're just raining themselves out. Future track, lots of storms. This is a little overcalculated, so the rain may not be this much by 6 o'clock. These rains start to move off into the east coast as we head into Friday morning, and the cycle starts to repeat as we head into Friday afternoon. Those lines of showers and storms start to move their way into the central parts of the state, and then as we head into Friday night, those rain chances start to subside again. Temperatures 83 in Gainesville right now, 77 in Ocala, and 82 in Brunson. Temperatures are a little lower right now. We're seeing a lot of cloud cover and rain. As we look into the evening parts of the hours, though, 76 across the board. Those rain chances start to subside as we head into the overnight hours. 90% 5 o'clock, 80% 7 o'clock. So we're going to see a lot of rain. Now, this weekend is game weekend, and kickoff is at 7 p.m. Seeing temperatures just below 80. It's going to be damp and cloudy with a chance of passing storms. Now, there are 5 areas of interest that we can see. 1 right over here, 3 in the Atlantic, and 2 over in the Gulf. I want to focus on the 2 over in the Gulf. We have a large group of storms in the southern Caribbean that's expected to move into the southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico. Don't expect to see any effects from that in our area. And it's this area that's low pressure system that has about a 20% to develop over the next 7 days, bringing in a lot of moisture and a lot of storms into our area. That's going to continue throughout parts of early next week. And you can see those through those rain chances. Rain chances start to drop off Tuesday and Wednesday, 60%, so not that big of a drop off as we head into early parts of next week. Temperatures remain relatively constant, reaching the upper 80s and then the lower 70s as we head into next Thursday.
Coming up in sports, Gators football announces a change in quarterback for Saturday's game against Samford. We're live outside the Gators training facility following the announcement. Find out who's got the starting job after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Happy Thursday and welcome to sports. I'm Daniel Haviv. Following an injury to Gators quarterback Graham Mertz, fans have been eager to hear about his replacement. WFT's Jesse Simmons is live outside of the team's training facility. Jesse, this change could really impact how this offense operates.
Called late in the opener, utilizing his legs, scrambling for 20 yards while passing for 30 and a touchdown. Giving Cam Newton comparisons with his large 6'3", 240-pound frame, Lagway offers the playbook a possible edge over Mertz to be dynamic and spread the field. No matter how young and what the circumstances are, head coach Billy Napier says the time to produce on the field is now.
We're not here to talk a lot and make excuses. We have to go prove it on the field. That's where we're at as a team, as an organization. Saturday we'll have a chance to do that.
Is it sorry now? Lagways brought plenty of young fire and excitement to the team. Simply put, you can feel the excitement in the facility this week, and it's urgent. Whether or not they'll take a step forward or a step back, the Gator Nation will find out if they've put the pieces together on Saturday. Jesse Simmons, WFT News.
Last night in girls high school volleyball, Buchholz fell to Ocala's St. John Lutheran 3-1. The Lady Bobcats took control of the match early, winning the first set 25-21 behind strong play from freshman Aubrey Waters and junior Addie 60. Mental mistakes and lack of execution plagued Buchholz for the rest of the match, allowing the Saints to rattle off 3-set victories in a row. Seniors Sophia Ochoa and Riley Palmetier, who made this terrific save, combined for 27 of St. John's 38 kills. Despite the Bobcats' loss, first-year head coach Andre Medina was able to find some positives as he continues to build up a program that has not seen a winning season since 2019.
You know, when you run 4 freshmen on the court, they only know so much. They've got room to grow. So for us, you know, our motto all season long has been, you know, there's a purpose to our process. And so this is just part of our process. You know, winning's part of the process, losing's part of the process. So overall, not the way that we wanted to go, like you said, but at the end of the day, we can gain something from it.
The Bobcats fall to 5-6 on the season and will play Columbia at home Saturday. And here's a look ahead at some volleyball matchups tonight. Undefeated Oak Hall faces Eastside as they look to make it 7 in a row. Newberry travels to Dixie County, and Santa Fe faces PK Young, who is searching for just its second win this season. The Friday Night Lights lineup for high school football is stacked for tomorrow evening. Here's a look at some games to check out in the Gainesville area. Undefeated Masters Academy travels to Oak Hall for a 7 p.m. kickoff. Newberry and Vanguard square off at 7:30, and the reigning regional champs Buchholz clash with Eastside also at 7:30. And one final note, former Gator baseball great Wyatt Langford joins Jackie Robinson as one of only 2 MLB players to ever hit an inside the park home run and a walk-off grand slam in the same season. And Wyatt's been a beast since he's gone to the MLB.
Well, Daniel, you know what they call him. They call him the Trenton Thunder.
Wow. Speaking of thunder, let's get one last look at the weather with Matthew before we go.
Yeah, so we do see those rain chances relatively high as we head into early parts of next week. They do start to taper off as we head into parts of next week. Temperatures remain relatively constant in the 80s.
Thanks for joining us. We're back tomorrow with another edition of WFT's First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and all our social media platforms. Have a good night.